Hello, everybody. Welcome in. It's so good to see you all. Drums, congratulations on the first. It's so good to see you. Incredible congratulations on launch day, Drums. Absolutely wonderful. Oh, man, incredible. Good to see you, friend. Welcome in, Memphis. So good to see you as well. A rare occasion indeed. So glad to see you here and welcome on in. Let me get the overlay up and running. Add a hat. All right, hold on. I'm gonna refund you on this, and then we'll. Jeez. Okay, and then we'll run this again here. Oh, it looks like the rewards didn't go away. Let's see here. Add a hat. There we go. All right, you got sun hat with a bow. All right. All right, that might have been stolen from me, but we got this one instead, which, you know, I'm feeling this is very like bug trainer in Pokemon vibes. I'm down for it, so. Oh, you know, we never did a remove a hat. It was only remove all hats, and that was kind of on purpose. That was kind of a bit of a game design there, intentionality. How we doing, folks? So good to see you all. Welcome in. It is launch day for Dicey Bugs. Definitely go pick that up. There it is. We're gonna pin this. Tremendously exciting. We've been waiting for this for a long time. You guys developed too slowly. Just kidding. Hat's not clear. Yeah. So, I admit I have done like 2 runs today so far, while waiting for certain other things to happen at work. And, you know, you send a message, you gotta wait for someone to get back, you gotta take some turns. It's been great. I had a really cool run with like a full debuff squad and a guy with like over 50 HP. It was wild. It was a great time. And then the other one was a full praying mantis, wild moving run. So I'm excited to see what we get up to now. This is one of the big things I've really loved about Dicey Bugs is that it kind of feels like every run, it's very easy for me to try to do something different and have it work if I'm clever enough. A lot of the times in a lot of roguelikes, I feel very pigeonholed. Like there's a couple of things that are just so good, you kind of have to go with them. Partly because the game is just so wildly difficult, but also because balance is just a little bit rough. There's always some things that are way better than others. Go talk to any Slay the Spire player and they'll tell you, yeah, there's a bunch of build diversity, but there's also like some cards you kind of just don't take. And I haven't really been experiencing that very much in Dicey Bugs. So we're gonna go ahead and do the full release discussion point here. Hey, Thornity, it is so good to see you. It has been a while. I hope you're doing well. By the way, I don't think I ever got to like talk to you about it, but huge congratulations on your work with Sockhouse Studios on Click and Conquer. Looks like it's over 1.2 thousand reviews on Steam. Wild. That's super cool. Congratulations on that. That's incredible. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and do like the full release style breakdown that we tend to do on Dicey Bugs today, even though we've, you know, played it quite a few times. We'll go ahead and dive in and do a final recap here. Whoa, Memphis! Been on my first job in this field. I studied now for 9 months. Congratulations! That's very cool, Memphis. Thank you for telling us. That is remarkable. What field is it? Like, did you just graduate, or Like you're 9 months into your education and you already have a job in your field? Thanks game is just shy of 35,000 copies sold. Wow, that's awesome. That's super cool. Big congrats. That's huge. I mean, what a huge like learning opportunity, right? To see, yeah, that was something you put together really quick. And sure, it was, you know, not the most original thing ever, but clearly there is a market for it that is wanting it. So what an amazing ride there. I'm sure you guys have just learned and gained so much from that experience. Bill is embedded developer and you graduated last year. You're coding in C and Python. Wow, very cool. That's awesome, man. That's root C. Very cool. Okay, so let's talk menus. We always talk menus. This is a good menu overall. Like I'm engaged. There's a lot going on. It feels a little bit indie bare bones, and like this grass, we've talked about this, I think every time we've discussed the menu, this grass just feels so like almost incomplete. Like it doesn't feel incredibly intentional compared to the rest of the art, which is stellar. You also have these clouds, which are like weirdly sharper than the grass is. But we do have good movement. We've got our background, our middle ground, and our foreground with the dice and the title. The dice and the title are the coolest part of this entire part. Still remember your VOD about Just Lost? Ooh, yeah, that was a fun one. Yeah, so, the dice rotating, sparkling, the shine effects, and then the kind of, glare reflection coming across. That all combines to create a lot of really great movement on here to draw you in, make it feel very exciting, very punchy, very, ooh, we're gonna do something fun here. And then you've got the tiny little wiggles of the characters in color. Works very well. It's not overbearing, which is what it easily could have been. Very subtle, I believe the main character blinks, but once again, it would have been very easy to have made all of this really overbearing. Doesn't feel that way. It feels very in your face. The extended hand not only is throwing the dice, but also in a way kind of inviting you to take it and come into the world. So really great composition there. My two big complaints are the grass, and then these buttons just kind of get drowned out by everything. Also play being to the left of quit is like I almost want quit to be a different button somewhere else, and then you just have one big play button down here. But other than that, very good menu screen. The gear, you know exactly what that's gonna do. You got your credits down here. If we zoom in here, you'll see that the logo is kind of touching the pill shadow space. In fact, it might be going over down in this bottom left corner, but in a kind of a silly way. So, either shrinking that logo down or blowing it up a little bit more might have been nice, but whatever. It's very minor. We got our supporters. Oh, look at that. Who's that? Oh my goodness. Really cool stuff all around. Although I will say, I don't know if you guys have observed this from someone else, but it looks like my Twitch rewards are like still on the channel, weirdly enough. What happens if I like turn it on and then turn it off? I want them off for this stream. Yeah, they're still there. Except after you played it last. Connect to Twitch? Oh, okay. I want it off because I want like a launch sort of experience that would be representative of what people are going to be playing. Yeah, bummer. They're still there. I'll have to go in and like adjust that, figure it out. Okay. Great. So let's go ahead and dive in. We'll do play. When you close the game, you will now discuss. By the way, new loading screen. Mwah, love it. Hey, okay, Patrick. Good to see you, friend. Welcome in. Okay, so we've got our screen. We've seen this bunches of times. I'm gonna move my gob out of the way. Hey, new hat. There we go. We got the black toque. Good to see you, Patrick. Oh, Thank you for your patronage. Okay. Overall, this screen, you know where the bulk of where your attention is going to be on this screen. Right here, right? It's in picking all of these bugs, looking through your vast collection of bugs that you have, and that you've caught over many different runs, and trying to plan a run. So to start off with, just in terms of blocks of the screen, the party composition itself, really small part of the screen. I almost want that to be bigger because that's kind of like the thing you want. That's the exciting thing that you are going to be pushing forward for the next build. I understand that, like, yeah, look at all these bugs and it feels great to go through and look at all these. But then also I want to be excited about what I'm about to take in. I'm not totally sure what the solution for that would be, but I think, I don't know, maybe moving these down to the bottom. I don't know. I'm sure you guys explored a bunch of different layout approaches here, but that's the big, like, layout discussion is, like, I want to feel more excited about the stuff I am going forward with. Right? That being said, this totally works as a screen. Super functional, super usable. No real notes as far as that all goes. Difficulty being underneath start run makes a lot of sense. I like how the whole pill is a button. I'm gonna move my my gob again. I'm not totally sure what this last sentence on this tooltip means, where it says, includes upgraded starter die face rewards. Does that mean, like, if I beat an expert level run, I get better ways to customize my dice? I'm not 100% sure what that means because the tooltip doesn't change when I change things, and it's not very explicit about what that does. So that's a little minor sort of I'm not 100% sure what that means yet. On there, we do have our Bugopedia. Works really well. Very nice sound design here. Very subtle. The popping out of the bugs. I like how they break past the barrier. We're not being very precious about that. We're not keeping them in. We're expanding past those boundaries. All of those things are helping to contribute to this feeling of excitement and adventure and pushing forward. Love it. We do get to customize our dice here, so we can choose, you know, all these different die symbols. I like, ooh, that little spin, the sound effect, very good. They could have just had these 3 boxes and called it a day, but tying them up into the actual dice image, the sound, the spin, fantastic. Feels great. Love that. As well, you can see the spinning and enlarging and shrinking. Just a good way to call attention. This is the, like, hey, you have something to select indicator, right? It's almost always very clear. It's very hard to miss that. Once again, the backgrounds. Just, they feel so not done compared to everything else. I don't know if that's a stylistic decision, but it feels, to me, incongruous with the rest of the incredible art that you've clearly poured your heart into, Drum. So I don't know if this was like something that got scrapped due to time constraints, it was just an opportunity cost thing, or what. It does stand out to me, though. Maybe it doesn't stand out to anyone else, and I'm just the weirdo. Okay. We've got all of our bugs. Another thing to note here, they're all facing left to right. That's very helpful to just reduce visual noise, right? But unlocked, or ones that you haven't caught, are right to left. That's interesting. So those are like the enemies facing you. That's interesting. I think that's fine. I don't see any real problem with that. These buttons, I expect to be able to just like click directly onto one of them, and it looks like the whole thing is just a button that cycles me through the filters. That's a little bit interesting. Also, is this sorting or filtering, and what exactly are these categories? I'm guessing this is you have something to do with like healing. But this guy is applying shield, so maybe it's just survivability in general. Attack to increase the strength of self by 1. Oh, this doesn't have to do anything with their abilities. It has to do with their stats, doesn't it? Yeah, 20 health, 18 health, 16 health. Okay. Okay, so then this would be highest base attack value. Yeah, like if I skip past one accidentally, I have to cycle all the way through. This is how many I have. The number being the amount that I've caught. That makes perfect sense to me. And then star... shinies? I don't know. What does star mean? I see there's a big star to the left of every single ability, which I've never noticed before. And I don't know what that star represents. Oh, if they have an ability or not? Weird. Yeah, honestly, I've just visually tuned out that star. Star is the ability trigger. The pill is the ability trigger, right? That turn start pill? Oh, wait. Oh, so we have all of the turn starts here. And then we have all the turn ends. And then we have all of the attacks. Okay. Okay. I understand why that would be difficult to visually represent. How do you condense that into an icon when all you have is like the pill? Interesting. Yeah, the problem is like we have this sort of interference signal, in my opinion, of like star, and then we have stars, but then like those two don't really match up together. I don't really know what the star in the ability is saying other than it is an ability, which every single bug has except for the aphid. So it's not 100% clear to me until like a good amount of work goes into that. I'm trying to think, what would a better icon be for that? Like that is a tough one. How do you visually represent ability type when you don't already have some sort of visual motif outside of that pill? That's a good one. Just needs an info box that updates. Yeah, I mean, a little caption down here wouldn't be a bad idea. Sort by ability, right? And then we have our shinies sorted on. Cool. Yes, this is a humble brag. Look how many shinies I have. Someday I want the shiny aphid, and I want the shiny aphid to just be like 99 every stat. That'd be great. So many shinies. Yes, I have possibly been playing this a good amount. So, we have a random party button down here. I love the random party because it just gets my brain thinking. This is the hardest part for me in this game, is like, well, gosh, what bugs am I willing to take along? What do I want to do? I don't know. Having a random party just be like, oh, let me try to build something around this. That really helps. We talk a lot about like anchoring a run in a roguelike, which Dicey Bugs simultaneously does and does not do. Like, you anchor yourself very heavily with the kind of bugs that you pick at the start, but then you have full freedom to pick the bugs at the start. So it's like this weird sort of, I can do anything, but also it's locking me in, and being able to do anything is very stressful for me. So having this random party button has saved me quite a lot. Shiny Aphid will be a conspiracy-like hero, right? So, honestly, this random party, it's always felt odd to me that it's down here in the bottom left. I kind of want it up here by the bugs, by the party itself, because the party is what this relates to. So it's like, it makes a little bit more locational sense to be up there. That being said, it also has to do with the selections that you're making. I don't think that this is a terrible spot for it, but I would be curious to like see analytics about this, of how many people actually notice this and are clicking on it. Or even not analytics, but usability testing. How many people notice there is a random party button? I I think there's a potential for it to be like not a lot of people, but it makes sense to be down here to a certain degree, and it makes sense very well visually because you have this sort bar on the bottom right, and then you can also have this space over here taken up instead of having to kind of float it on top of the background. Like it, once again, a lot of these things make a lot of sense. Let's go ahead and make a party, shall we? Let's try to go with a shiny because I've got a lot of those and I want to show off. If not, the leader heals the leader by 50% of this unit's max HP. I think we've used that in a previous stream. I did get the Harvest Man, the Daddy Long Legs, attacks the opponent in the opposite direction on turn end. I mean, that is really cool. That's a super strong ability. We could buff him up to crazy heights. And the really cool thing is, like, he doesn't even need to be in the lead. It's just at the end of the turn, he's gonna be attacking anything, which is awesome. Hey, Risky Biscuit, good to see you, friend. How's it going? How's excuse me, how's Hidden Planet coming along? I've been seeing your posts on Reddit and stuff and following loosely in your Discord, everything that's been going on. I was there for Hot Pants Gate. I'm curious how things have been going for you and the family and everything. Okay, so if I want this, here's my struggle. I want to find any ability that has to do with buffing up other bugs. And I don't think I have a very good way to do that. And as you can see, there's like a decent amount of bugs to sort through. Like, these filters just aren't really going to do it for me because I don't care how much attack they have. I care about how much they're able to buff. I don't care about like which trigger they have. I just want to be able to funnel attack into the Harvest Man. So I'm gonna have to depend on my game knowledge and just browsing to try and find something. If not the leader, increase the strength of the leader by 1. Okay, increase the strength of all allies in front of this unit by 1. Great, we'll throw in our shiny termite. You've been seeing the red post? I have been, yeah, I've been following. This kid is pretty funny, yeah. Yeah, people get upset. That's for sure. That's a thing. I almost want something that's gonna like get a lot of extra attacks in here. If we're just gonna have the termite funneling attack into both characters, out of dice applies a random buff to the leader. I mean, I could see that. Turn start applies regen to all allies. That's not bad. The first run that I won after picking the game up was like a heavy status effect build, and like we had so much healing that nothing could tear us down. Hercules Beetle attacked, increased the strength of self by 1. We could do that. And then just every turn the termite is buffing these guys. Maybe. Increase the strength of all allies by 50% of this unit's strength. We could also throw the cockroach in. And then be going really hard on the Harvest Man. Yeah, this was my guy that headlined the status buff group. When they're attacked, restores a random used die from this unit's party. So he was just like throwing up all sorts of status effects on dice and just blasting everyone. It was fantastic. Ally KO, if not the leader, attacks all opponents. That's cool, but for a different build, I think. Opponent move, if the leader attacks the opposing leader. This is also a good thing because it's going to get us a lot of attacks, if not a lot of strength. Attack deals damage to the opponent's adjacent allies equal to 25% of the damage dealt. That's cool, so he's got like splash damage. It's also really good engagement, so it kind of works out. Yeah, I think that's one of the things that I've learned from Sockhouse and Thornity with Click and Conquer. There were a lot of people that were kind of upset about Click and Conquer. And that drove not only more attention to Click and Conquer, but also Digzeum. Like, Digzeum's sales spiked a lot. So it was, like, better for everyone. Yeah, not something to be underestimated, for sure. On attack, applies confusion to the opponent. So he ran into the insane moth. Oh, yeah. We got him. Turn start, if at full HP, applies 3 random actions to 3 random units. Really, really strong, really scary. I want to get the shiny of it. I think we might go with this group. What die faces do we use? Increasing strength is not a bad one. Being able to straight up revive someone, also pretty good. Oh, that is so strong. Like, since we're just kind of going for a beef tank brawler build, repeat is also really good, but also having heal is pretty strong. Let's just go with this for now. We're gonna do a normal run. Yeah, Risky, this is Dicey Bugs. It's pinned in chat. Drums and Prodigal Sun Games. This is their collaboration to make this. Drums did the art and what else, Drums? I believe you and Prodigal collaborated on the design, and you did the art and he did the coding. Is that correct? Okay, so you saw the map rolling across the screen. Really good. It wasn't just a smooth roll, I believe, as well. I think it kind of bounced a little bit. Really good details there. We've got our party down here, really strong, to kind of show off, hey, this is your group. We're really good in a lot of places on that. Basically, that was the split. Okay, cool. We've got our dice down here. We've got our map. I like the subtleness of the background. It's enough that you can see that there like are things, and it does build a little bit of that verisimilitude, a little bit like this is a world, not just an empty void we're maneuvering through. Because there is a bit of a lack of that in the game overall. There's not a lot of story. There's not a lot of, you know, let's bring you into this world. But this is one of those subtle ways you can do that in a very low cost way. I've seen Fox play before. Yeah, I think we've probably showcased it, what, 3, 4, 5 times? Something. It's been a good amount. And then we have our kind of Slay the Spire style map. Instead of doing the forked straight lines, we've eschewed those for these curves. Feel nice. It feels very friendly. It goes into that sort of family-friendly aspect of this. My daughter actually requested Dicey Bugs for our weekly game night this past week. So, like, it's definitely works for kids from an aesthetic perspective. Lots of roundness. Very friendly, very bold colors, but at the same time, as we're going to see, there's quite a lot of strategy when it comes to the actual gameplay. Oh, that's a compliment? It is a compliment, totally. Hey, Too Much Tomato, good to see you. Welcome in. For those who don't know, Too Much Tato? Mr. Pomodoro himself, Too Much Tomato, is making the wonderful Torso Tennis, and I believe it's launching later this month. Right, Tomato? Played a bit this morning, excited to play more? Nice. Yeah, good for you. Thanks for giving them some patronage there. So yeah, definitely go check out Torso Tennis. It's launching on the 24th. Yes, very exciting. We're definitely going to be showcasing it on the 24th. Barring anything insane happening. Those are heart-shaped tomatoes. Yeah, great to have you here, Too Much Tomato. Very excited for Torso Tennis and all that you've been able to make happen there. We have a nice hover over effect here, so I get to preview. These are all the bugs that are in there. If I hadn't caught some of them, like someone, I've caught nearly everything. But if you haven't caught something, it shows up in a silhouette. That's really nice. Really nice pop in, pop out. Very subtle ease in, ease out animations with a little bit of bounce. Really, really warm, brings you in. Okay. So I need to kind of plan my route a little bit. I like going for elites. They give good rewards, you know, typical roguelike type sort of stuff, but also they're rarer types of bugs that you only get to capture every now and again. So I'm going to go take this bottom route. That'll get us 2 elites. We'll start off with the cave battle. All right. We're going to start. We're getting our buffs. We're going to throw a shield on. So, well, first off, sorry, I started diving just straight into the actual game. Let's pause for a minute. Gotta talk about this screen here. I think the screen works remarkably well. A lot of the format is very similar to Dice Folk, if you have played that. But enough that they make it their own. Instead of doing the circle, it's a straight line, which, you know, I think does help readability to a certain degree. Especially, you know, in younger kids, it's a lot more clear to see, like, oh, this one is at the front, this one is not at the front, right? The dice, big and chunky options down here, really hard to miss those. Very good touch targets, very accessible. All right, ad break has ended. So we get the main portion of the screen for the characters. That's great. Love that. Once again, feels very exciting. Feels very, let's bring you straight into this action, into this momentous adventure. The dice iconography, I think, work really well. The clear difference with the purple and the white. Once again, that's another thing that was kind of inspired from Dice Folk. It works well, so why leave it? We got our health, we got our swords, and if there was any confusion about who's in lead, we've got the little crown. I love that crown icon. I think that is super helpful, especially, once again, for, like, smaller kids. It's just so immediately visible, the state that things are in. We have our currencies up here. I don't totally know why gold is up here. Maybe that comes into play in certain combat mechanics. I don't know. The bottles up here, this is like your Pokeball that you don't have to throw, so it's not patent against. Hey, there's Prodigal. Good to see ya. Yeah, so all of the Twitch integration stuff is still there, despite me turning it all off several times. So, yeah. Well, Prodigal, I knew you were out and about, and I didn't want to, like, interrupt or distract or anything. But happy birthday, and we're very happily checking this all out. So I think this screen really works. We got our animation ticker there. Everything's good. I've never felt the need to tick this, to be honest, but just a solid screen. It's very clear exactly what you're supposed to do. I love the pop over here. All enemy dice must be used before the end turn can be ended. I wouldn't even mind some of this text maybe getting transparent as well, just to really hammer home, hey, this is not available yet, but it works. You can't click on it. It's self-descriptive, self-explanatory, even if it's not self-evident. It works just fine. Saw a YouTube short about Nintendo making a new patent about summoning a creature to fight a creature. It is true, but as always, you got to be careful about the actual legal language. It's not just summoning a creature. It's like throwing a ball to capture or to summon a creature that is then, like, piloted on its own and it positioned on its own without the player position. So it is pretty specific. Still, it's way too vague or way too broad and should never actually go through with anything. It's awful, but it's not as broad as summoning a creature to fight a creature. There's more to it than that. Okay, so you can see we've got our text, and I love the little tooltip down here that shows exactly what that die face is going to do and all the other die faces on your dice, which can be very helpful. For example, if you have something that will make dice get re-rolled or something, you want to know what the odds are of different things. Too much tomato. I'm so sorry. The Twitch integration rewards are still here. I turned it off. I apparently was lucky enough to get in before it got fixed. So let me try and, like, axe all these. Let me see here. Turn off, turn off, turn off, turn off, turn off, turn off, and I'll delete them all later because I think deleting is going to be a different process. Why do you not have bulk disabling, Twitch? Jiminy. Okay. Prevent captures. Turn that off. And there we go. Okay. There we go. Should be good to go. Should be good to go. Did you connect to Twitch, authorize it, and then turn it off? I did. Yeah, I connected it to Twitch, turned it on, turned it off, closed the menu after turning it on, closed the menu, opened it, turned it off, hit X. Yeah. No, it's all good. I know I was in there during the beta period. That's exactly what you'd expect from that sort of a thing. Guess to close the game? Could be. Yeah, it could be. Okay. So, we also have our hover over abilities, which, you know, there's a lot of, like, hidden information. This type of game, and Dicey Bugs does it really well as well. Beta left them hanging, but now we don't. Yeah, for sure. there's a ton of information that could be displayed on screen at any one given point. So this is a masterclass in progressive disclosure. This is a super important design principle. We usually want to like throw every piece of information at the player all the time. More information is better, right? When that's not really the case. Progressive disclosure says hide information until it is needed or requested by the player or by the user, right? It's a very broad design principle. So you can see if we put all of this information up here all the time, this screen would be a giant mess. And, you know, you see stuff like this happen in indie games all the time. Progressive disclosure, give me the information when I hover over it, and that's just fine. That's plenty fine. Okay, let's go ahead and I'm going to use this clash attack. So that's going to mean this dung beetle is going to attack my Hercules beetle, and will then trigger his ability to make him one attack stronger, and then he'll attack back. And you can see we have our interstitial states there. I talk about this all the time in turn-based stuff. Thank you so much for building these out. I can see exactly what the result of this action is going to be. That is such a huge boon for the player. It's going to reduce misplays. It's going to make the player feel smarter, feel a lot more capable, and reduce frustrating moments. Something like that, honestly, do not underestimate how big a deal that is for the player experience. Nobody will, in their review, mention this. Nobody's going to talk about it. But it's the sort of thing that completely elevates an experience in transparent ways that people don't notice. This is great, great stuff. Okay. Great. Now we're going to go backwards, move backwards. So now this guy comes back up front. You can see those lines on the ground to show you, hey, this is where things are going to go. Very helpful. It would talk about it if they got used to it and then you removed it. Yeah, or vice versa, right? But you're right. It's absolutely the sort of thing that you grow accustomed to, and it's just in the background. You never notice it anymore, and then it really matters when it's not there. All right, so we had our ability trigger hit him. Great. Let's go ahead and nuke him down. So he gets hit a little bit. We get debuffed from the cricket. We'll kill him. So we did take a lot of debuffs here, but I think it's gonna be worth it. Every turn we're gonna get buffs from the termite. This is still an early fight. I'm feeling just fine. I should have done the clash attack first. That would have gotten me an extra damage snuck in, but whatever. So you can see we got that catchable, nice sound effect to cue it in, big pop in so I could notice it. And the bottle button becomes open. Very, very nice. We have the icon hovering over the cricket to say, hey, yeah, this is the one you can capture. That's nice. I don't want to capture it. I've already got a cricket. I'm just going to end the turn. I'm going to save my bottles for any other sort of shiny or anything. We're going to heal up and then attack. Da-da-da. Nice victory sound effects. Confetti, those coins flying up to our coin tracker. Very nice. So we now get to pick one of these. I still think choose your loot is too vague, but that's just me. I'm curious how many people have come in here and picked something and been like, wait, I only get one? Could have just been me. I think we're gonna buff up, let's buff up health, because that will indirectly transfer into attack for him. Let's get that moving. All right. So continuing on our route of trying to get the elite fights, we're going to go to the die face reward here. A random leader either attacks the opposing leader or moves to a random position. Sounds bad. Unless you have something that really wants both those actions. We can weaken or we can debuff, apply a random debuff to the opposing leader. Let's weaken, because I want people punching the Hercules beetle a whole bunch, and if they're only hitting for one, then he gets a lot of buffs. Okay. Smart grab, thank you. All right. I hate these dung beetles, man. They're so frustrating. They always mess up my formation. And I've been playing a lot of like, I need this specific orientation. I do not want to move my bugs around builds. It's been causing problems for me today. All right. We'll do some smacky smacks, buffing up our Hercules beetle. The daddy long legs, shooting out the ballistic support here. Okay. Let's debuff. You know, I probably should have done the attack first and then debuffed this guy. I'd be 1 health stronger with, I believe, the same amount of damage on the board. So, once again, these are like, right, you start to think about how do you actually optimize your order. Dung beetles were designed to be a nuisance. Yeah, well, they are. They're giant turds, or rather, they're riding giant turds. Let's ranged attack onto here. Get the buffs. Good, we got a weaken, so we don't instantly die. And we can just attack. That's fine. I have done, like, move-oriented builds, and those have been fun. Okay, increase bottle amount by 1. More strength, more health. Let's do a little bit more health. We don't have a ton of survivability yet. Until we build that up, I want just that amount. The spinning of the grid and everything, that's so nice. It's so satisfying. So now we have our shop. Excuse me. You can access this at nearly any time after the first fight, I believe. So this is equipment you can put on your bugs to buff them up. This is where like a lot of stuff starts to get really broken. So for example, this one, if you are out of dice, if you've used all your dice, and the bug is not at full hit points, they gain thorns. Pretty powerful. Turn start, if at full HP, decrease the strength of a random opponent by 1. That's pretty cool. Attack, if not the leader, deals damage to the opponent with the lowest hit points equal to 25% of this unit's strength. What? Oh wait, hold on. Okay, so if you're not the leader when you attack, then you also deal damage to the lowest hit point bug a quarter of the day. Okay, so that's got to go on this, and all of a sudden, because that's what this guy's doing. Every turn end, he's attacking, right? And he's not the leader. So let's pump up that attack and have him be getting essentially 2 attacks off. There's an example of how that starts to break things. Okay. You also want to get bottles a whole lot, I've learned, because you only get 3 bottles per act in the game. So definitely don't sleep on those. Make sure you're stocked up. Bottles are a huge part of the game. Even if you have a bunch of bugs like I do, there's a lot of times where I'm like, oh man, I just need to capture this bug so that it's off the board. It's an immediate, targeted way to remove threats from the board, and it can really make a difference. One other thing they added here I want to highlight, which I really like, is this health threshold for capturing. So if I hover over the bottle, you can see what it's going to take health-wise for me to be able to capture these bugs. Absolutely great. I never like commented on that because I figured it was supposed to be a little bit vague. You're supposed to be a little bit nervous about it, but if that's not a part of the intentionality, yes, let's surface that information, make it visible so you can make smart tactical decisions in the smart tactical game. Yeah, risky, 100%. So, for example, both these guys have ally KO effects, right? If triggering those would like lose the game for me, instead of KOing the bug, I could capture it, and that doesn't trigger these other KO abilities. 100%. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and weaken. Start buffing up our beetle. And then move. And the turn. Nice. See, we got that extra attack, so we got that extra damage out. Let's bring this maggot up front again. Chew up our beetle a little bit. And yeah, we're getting these debuffs, but I think it's going to be just fine. We're always doing at least 1 damage. Great. Okay. So we'll debuff and smoshy smosh. And go ahead and move around. That's fine. You have to use all of the opponent's dice before you can end the turn. So if you see me just kind of clicking through things when it doesn't really matter, that's why. Okay, great. So we got his buff up. Great. Throw another weaken down. And you know what? We can just kill him. There we go. Ba-da-da-da. Love it. Okay, let's start buffing up the Harvest Man's attack. All of a sudden, that's a big priority because now he's getting essentially 2 free attacks on a turn. Large damage is a really good die face. It does damage to the opposing guy equal to all of their attacks. So if something comes in and it's super stompy and has a ton of attack and you don't want to get hit by it, you can use that and turn that against them. So very cool there. In my debuff run, I went very heavy on die faces like that because my individual creatures had very little attack for most of the game. And so I was just trying to like use their own strengths against them. Okay, so let's stagger and then attack. I'm doing that because, yeah, stagger doubles the amount of damage the beetle takes, but this is the weakest the Harvest Man is going to be. Well, I guess he doesn't scale up, actually. I could have waited and seen if I got a weaken on the next turn. That might have been smarter. Ooh, we got a revive, man. But we're not going to need it. There we go, broke the armor, so now they're fresh, can't revive anything. Okay, this is going to be messy. So we clash attack here. So I could catch this right here. I only have one of them. Not bad to have 2. I could see a team of there's 3 Harvestmen just lobbing attacks every turn. That could be kind of fun. I think I want the stat buffs though. Like, I've already got one and I have the shiny. I think we just smash them down. So because we got the KO, we got 3 extra gold. We get the stat buffs. So you can see there's trade-offs to be made if you catch something versus if you want to beat it up. And it is genuinely a very good decision to make a lot of the times. It's a satisfying decision instead of something that is frustrating. Okay, I'm gonna buy bottles. I'm not catching a whole lot, but it's good to have those stockpiled. Okay, so we get some equipment here. Turn end, if at full HP applies a random buff to adjacent allies. That's best if you're in the middle slot, but we really want the termite in the far back, and the Harvestman has to. So, like, this has to be the setup here, and I don't want to replace his equipment. Moving, we don't want to move. Although, it wouldn't be a bad idea to throw that on the Hercules beetle and punish anyone that tries to, like, punish the dung beetles or anything that's trying to move our Hercules beetle around. What's this third one? If at full HP applies focus to self. Yeah, let's get this guy. So if he gets moved around, then he's going to at least be getting some value out of that while we try and throw him back into the front as quickly as we can. Okay, so this is a good example of when large damage works. He's going to deal 7 damage to himself. Let's punch. We can catch. Oh, we already have 2 of them, though. Yeah. Take the smaller hit from this guy and the turn. Full HP, though. He won't get that often. It's true. We're going to need a lot of, like, shielding and buffs to come in order to make that trigger. It's not something I'm, like, sold on, to be frank. I think we'll probably replace this, or at least it's a good candidate for getting replaced later on. But of the options that we had, it's the one I felt the best about. Here we go. And the turn. Gonna weaken. New ones replace. Yeah. New ones replace. So you can only have 1 piece of equipment per bug at a time. Alright, let's just nuke him. This beetle is jacked, dude. Having 11 attack in Act 1 is rough. I'm starting to get to a point where I don't know, I really want to drive up the Harvestman's attack a whole bunch, but also I need a lot of help on the Hercules beetle. So I'm trying to measure those two a little bit. Okay, so this guy is gonna heal himself when he attacks. This one silences on attack, so we want to just get this guy very dead, because he's not going to be triggering Hercules Beetle's ability, because he's going to silence him. And then we have another Hercules Beetle. Okay, so let's try and buff you up a little bit and start trying to snipe out the Firefly. Nice, good. 9 damage for free. Feels good, man. And then we can do this. Let's take the hit, gain the HP, and then ranged attack the Firefly. And then this guy, yeah, get wrecked, get wrecked. Yeah, let's use the Clash attack here. Weaken, attack, and you're dead because of the Harvestman. Wait. Oh, only the opponent in the opposite position, not a random opponent. So there was nothing here, so he couldn't attack. All right, that's fine. Good little thing to catch, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of stuff in this game of like, oh yeah, that's like an important part of this game is to recognize that that exists, and it makes perfect sense. None of it is hidden, which I love. There's no, like, I've never felt the need to go to a wiki or go talk to a community to figure out, oh geez, what are just like the combos that I'm not seeing, because apparently the game really wants specific combos and I'm just missing them. Like, I haven't found any of that. It's been great. Yeah, this is the second bad guy Daddy Longlegs we've found. Okay, shield, clash. Let me just tank the hit, I'm afraid. Yeah, throw the blind on the termite. We're not gonna get the buff, but that I think is a worthwhile sacrifice here. Ugh, got the blind again. Jeez. Okay, heal. Yeah. There we go. And then we throw the stagger. Oh, we could throw the stagger on the termite, sure. Ouch. But this guy's gonna obliterate him. Oh, also we can revive. All right. Fun. Easy elite. Buff up the Harvestman with the damage. And let's see, we have 9 gold. Anything we want to get from the store before we move on? Like, honestly, this guy, this out of dice, if not at full HP, applies Thorn to Self. This might go really hard on the Hercules Beetle. Like, I think that's probably the right decision to make on there, but I'm not gonna make it. Ooh, this is a new background. Look at this. We got a shiny centipede. We haven't caught it. You can see that because next to his attack in the upper right of his little pop-up window, there's just a silhouette instead of a bottle. So that means I've never caught this guy before. Can only be captured if this is the last remaining opponent. Turn start, applies burn to the opposing leader. Okay. That's horrifying. Burn's really bad. Burn damages you according to your strength at the end of the turn. It's really bad. So we're gonna have to chew through this. Oh, which means he's gonna be getting a whole bunch of buffs. Oh, God, this is gonna be scary. Okay, we're gonna have to make this fight super fast. So this is where like catching is gonna be a good idea, right? I don't really care about catching the cockroach, but I need to get stuff off the board as quickly as I can. Natural centipede shiny, yeah. Oh, just burn every turn is so rough. Okay. Do that, and like, do that, and then clash. All right. There we go. We're in a state where I think we'll be able to just blitz this guy down now. Use the strengthen. All right, bye-bye. Hercules Beetle, we didn't deserve you. No revive. Oh, but he's down to 1 health. Catch. Woo! Shiny cat. Yeah! I don't have a problem. Achievement, capture 100 units in total. Oh, cool. Yeah, you're going straight back home. Absolutely. And then 3 health, we'll throw that on our Hercules Beetle. Cool. GG. Oh, it's not a bounce, it's a wobble. That's a very cute way to create that sense of motion. You don't have to have it bounce or anything, just a little bit of a wobble. Very nice. Okay, we get a new shop. Okay, on capture, if not the leader, deals damage to all opponents equal to 25% of this unit's strength. Wow. On turn start, if not at full HP, applies a random buff to self. And that might even be better on Hercules Beetle too. It kind of depends on just how much, how many sort of status effects we're able to start pumping out. We haven't found a ton. We're finding a lot of offense, but not very much defense. So we might replace equipment with that by the end here. So here we have a special battle. This has an environmental effect. So it's going to make it a little bit more chaotic, a little bit harder, but it's always going to have a shiny. So we definitely gun straight for this and then over to the elite. Let's go random, sure. Hey, Mothman, so good to see you, friend. Welcome in. How are you today? Okay, yeah, we take that hit. That's the weakest guy they have on the board. And then move the Hercules Beetle in. Nice. 10 damage, just 10 damage without even having to roll a dice. Crazy. All right. Sneak attack. I think we just do a normal attack here and then repeat it. And yeah, he's getting buffed, but I think we're just gonna nuke him pretty quickly here. I'm confused. It's still light out end of Friday. Yeah, well, this is... Oh, we got both of them. Oh, because of the Harvestman. Jeez, so good. This is a big release for Drums and Prodigal, and I wanted to be there to support that, but I'm not gonna have time tonight to do it. So we're taking a little bit of time right now in order to make that a reality. So doing what we can to try and keep on supporting people. All right. We had Frozen, so he didn't move us. Random attack. Okay, just as long as he didn't go after the turn, it's fine. Double KO. Yes. And I like how you get extra money for stacking up kills. It's a cute little side mechanic. It's definitely not needed in order to be successful at the game, but it does feel good when it happens. It is a nice reward. Okay. Let's get Scare, I guess. Sure. And then we'll go into our garden battle. Do I just buy this right now? We haven't seen that trigger once. I think it's worth the money. Ooh, shiny ladybug. We haven't gotten one of those yet. When attacked, applies shield to self. That's crazy. Let's slide this guy forward, and he has equipment too. Enter lead, applies stagger to the opposing leader. Jeez. That is so mean. All right, Harvestman doing lots of work. There's that whirlwind coming into play, the environmental effect. We're gonna move you back. Yeah, kill the caterpillar, so we're not getting a bunch of stagger applied, and he's not healing people. We'll move him forward and then use large damage on him. That's not an attack, so it's not going to trigger his ability. And then we can catch. Woo! 2 shinies in this run. All right. Okay, so we got that. So go get punched and then die. I could have just attacked him straight out of the gate. Didn't need to have him attack. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. It's sent home, and then do we want this? Enter lead, apply stagger to the opposing leader. I mean, that's super cool for a different build. So we'll just buff up our Hercules Beetle, I think. He's getting to the point where he's beefy enough that I think we can start diverting some of that onto our other two bugs, because they're getting fairly squishy at this point in the game. The game does scale, so, you know, bugs get higher raw stats as you move forward. Equipment, KO, applies regen to a random party member. That's not very good. Opponent out of dice, if not at full HP, applies Thorn to all allies. I mean, that's cool. Probably for a different build. Opponent out of dice, if not the leader, applies a random buff to adjacent allies. I don't want to replace the Harvestman's ability with that, so I think we just skip this. And then we want the elite fight. Let's see. Oh, we haven't caught something in the forest. So we'll go to the forest, try see if we get lucky. Bummer. Also, I just noticed the intros for the characters. They like have a little intro animation. I didn't catch that before. Wasn't the first one good for your last guy? Was that the like buffing an adjacent dude? It could have been. It could have been fine. But it would be throwing buffs over to the Harvestman, and of those buffs, kind of only one of them would really matter, which is doubling the damage. So I just kind of thought, I'll take the gold and then leave him open for a future equipment that would be more applicable and useful. But you're not wrong, it would have helped, just not like a ton. So that's all. Jeez. Get wrecked. Wow. Okay. So we don't want this guy to attack at all. Oh, we got the termite. Bummer. That's fine. Dead. Jeez. Harvestman is going ham. How many rear attacks? It's only 2 chances. Okay. Let's slide back, throw the shield up, get the attack, eat the hit. There we go. Sweet. Oh, we gotta get more attack on the Harvestman. He's doing so much work. Want to reroll? Yeah, let's reroll. On attack, if not at full HP, deals damage to the opponent's adjacent allies equal to 25. But you have to not be at full HP. Is the rub there. Oh, man. Seems like a good strat to move Harvestman to front when only one enemy exists. Yes. The only problem is then they're a lot more vulnerable. Oh, applying burn is really good. Getting lure on would also be really good. Let's get burn. Burn on any target is just so good, and because we're not going very heavy on moving, we can afford to kind of strip out some of these move faces on our die. All we need move for is to get back into position if we get moved out. Turn end, move self to the front of the line. That would be cool for another build. Apply focus to party member of your choice. So focus is the buff that deals double damage. So being able to just throw that on anyone I want, gonna be great. Freeze, bleed, or free movement. Let's swap one of these out for a free move. So it's just gives you more control. It's objectively better than a single direction movement. All right, who we getting? We got the what is it, Tarantula, right? Yeah. If the leader decreases the strength of the opponent by 1 when he attacks. Okay. So he's going to kind of cancel out Hercules Beetle's ability. That's just going to be a net neutral. So throw burn on. Flash. Heal. Support from the Harvest Man. And you're going to die on your turn. I could capture you. I think I want the stat boost instead, though. I've already got one of them. It's not a shiny. 2 extra attacks. Starting at 11. Oh, that's a really big Harvest Man. Random battle. Here we go. Okay. Another Hercules Beetle. We've been seeing a lot of these this run, interestingly. We have a Water Strider that when they move and they're already at half HP or less, they're going to heal themselves. And then the Butterfly, just every turn, is going to be throwing regen around to everyone. So, ouch. Water Boy. Harvest Man is sniping out these support characters. Great. Okay. I'm going to throw the shield on, move forward, and then he can take the spear attack there, and then Harvest Man gets a big hit. Let's get burn on you. Shield. Clash. And then just nuke? I think we just nuke. Yeah. Hey, Karzas! Good to see you, friend. How you doing? Welcome in. All right, yeah. Harvestman's running away with it here. No mercy. Extra gold for overkill also feels really good. Just these tiny little touches that just make everything feel fantastic, right? Okay. Do I want to re-roll any of this? I don't think so. I mean, I'd love to get some equipment on the termite. Move, apply shield to a random party member. I mean, that's really strong. Let's just throw it on there. If we get moved around, then we have a little bit of extra time to recover from that. Ooh, you have equipment. So this is the Antlion. When the opponents move, he attacks them for half of his, or does damage equal to half of his strength. And then when out of dice, if not the leader, removes all debuffs from the party member with the lowest HP. Oh, so you're cleansing. Interesting. No Twitch shenanigans this time because I wanted the launch to be like a representative experience of what the game actually is. And then when we come back to this later on, we'll turn the Twitch integration back on. Yeah. Oh, that's right. When he's attacked, he applies confusion. Ugh. We got regen, that's good. Could capture the Antlion. Did we capture the Antlion? Only got one of them. Yeah, let's get it off the board. And then he can move forward. I'd rather just kill all of his support, to be frank. Could have used the Harvestman there. Oh well. And then we get a weaken off, and then the punch, and then the rest of his dice don't matter. Okay. Oh, we got a shield. Nice. Bait that out. Cleanse the debuffs, and then we'll move the Harvest Man in. Okay, he's getting missed on the confusion. That's huge. Confusion is deal damage on their attack equal to their attack. So that's great. Yeah, we nuked that guy down. That was great. There goes the bottle cap flying off. Very nice. We talked about that before, of having a little animation to let you know, hey, you're not keeping this. That was great. More health. Let's throw some health on the Harvestman. I agree with Risky that starting to kind of move him forward, especially as he's getting so tough, is a good plan. So let's give him a little bit of leeway there. The leader applies regen to the party member with the lowest HP. Seems cool. If not the leader, deals damage to the opponent with the lowest HP equal to 50% of the damage. Wow, interesting. So it's like a mirror damage thing. Thorns, bleed, or shield. Let's pick up some balls. What is this? Restore the used die of your choice from either party. Whoa, that's the first time I've seen that consumable. Let's pick it up. Okay, so there's 2 environmentals, but one of them gives us 2 elite fights, and the other one does not. So we're definitely going that route. Okay, this assassin bug is mean. He's going to attack the lowest HP guy for 12. So he's going to assassinate our termite as soon as he leaves the front. So we want to take care of him if at all possible, which I don't know that it actually is possible, unfortunately. I think he's going to have to move. We do still have our revive that we can try and set up. But I think this guy's gonna die because of the Harvestman. Nice. Large damage. Burn on you. Clash. And then move. Sneak attack so that we're getting less damage onto the Harvestman. These guys are roasted. Easy game. Alright. I don't want to catch you. You're not even worthy of my catching. 2 damage. I think the Harvestman is getting a little bit bigger of a bite. Rip Flea. Yeah. It tried. You know, it gave its best. Turn start. If at half HP or less, removes all buffs from the opponent in the opposite position. I mean, that's cool. I don't like that trigger though. If at half HP or less. I don't think that's better than anything we have right now. Remember your choice to opposing leader. I guess we might as well use this and swap it out. That's objectively better than the single sword attack. Excuse me. All right, let's go into this next fight. Poison Rain. We're gonna be taking damage every single turn. Oh, and it's a shiny maggot. On move, heal all party members by 2. Seems very good. Let's move him forward. We all need a shiny maggot in our lives. I agree. Why is everyone laughing? I think we'll be able to chew through this fairly quick and easy. How much do we need? 7. Perfect. Catch. See, so great. I could see what I needed, so I could actually make a good decision. Fantastic. So a burn down and the turn. Burning and Poison Rain. This is like Path of Exile style status effect stacking. Perfect. That's 3 shinies. We've gotten 3 shinies on this run. On move, heal all party members by 2. Does seem bonkers. You combine that with like a flea, where like if you get a shiny flea, you get 2 shiny fleas, right? Then on move, you are dealing 4 damage to every opponent and healing all of your party by 2 every single time you move, which sounds so busted. Okay. Sure, let's take a reward. Battle start applies leech to self. I mean, that's cool. Yeah, we'll just take the ranged attack consumable. Moving through. What does the pill bug do again? If not the leader, attacks a random opponent when they're out of dice. Okay, so we kind of want to keep you in the lead. Get wrecked. Jeez, 23 damage just for free at the end of the turn. It's really strong. Let's throw a burn down, clash, and then We don't need to sneak attack you. Oh. Oh. We'll see how this goes. Oh no, and then he gets healed because they're out of dice. Dead. Then we can shield up here, tank the hit, and then we can get a hit in. And that's gonna hurt because of the thorns, but overall we're okay. We're gonna end the turn. Okay, revive the beetle. There we go. Could catch. Shield did not go to the right guy. That's fine. Harvest Man just dies. It's fine. The friggin' termite can... Oh, and we can revive him. Anyways, it's fine. Look how fine it is. Everything's okay. Y'all need to stop panicking. Okay. Oh, another 2 strength. This is a bad idea. I need to be pumping up health as that battle showed, but I just can't. I can't fight the deeps. You know, you gotta go for the deeps. I am a dwarf. I delve deeply, too deeply, too greedily. And we got the attack. Throw a burn down on what, you, I guess? Yeah, we could catch. We've got 5 bottles. Very dead. Got a shield up. Very good. You know what? Just kill him. All right, there we go, and there we go. Everything's fine. Burn down, weaken, sword, and then the clash will kill. That's fine. That's fine. But we do have 5 bottles. We can only use a maximum of 3 at the last fight, so we kind of need to start using those. We're at 20 attack on that Harvestman. Sheesh. Front beetle does seem to fall off late game. Yeah, increasing strength by 1, right? That's a very static scaling. And I haven't been buffing his attack otherwise. There's a lot of equipment that we could have put on him if we had gotten it to modify that scaling to a certain degree, right? So I don't think that necessarily the beetle falls off late game. If you're pumping up his health, you're getting abilities that are reinforcing it. He's just we just haven't been building around him all that hard because we haven't been getting a ton of those options, is my take at least. Weaken, it's not bad. Weaken's not bad. What would I replace it with though? I could replace this other move guy. It's pretty though, very pretty. Yes, it is the prettiest princess at the ball. I look for another front tank to capture. Could be. This is my problem in these types of games though, is that unless I'm like really forced into it, I tend not to pivot. It's a problem. It's why I'm terrible at the bazaar. Pivoting is not in my nature. I'm very dedicated to my choices. I'm very loyal. And I much prefer a game that allows me to make the choices I have already made work if I'm good enough, rather than a game that encourages me to abandon old things. Stick insect, here we go. All right, so we're going to... Okay, actually, sneak attack, revive, and then we get the punch twice. Okay, support attack from Harvestman. Love it. Nice. There's the shield. You can throw a blind down. That's fine. Hey, Pixelated. Good to see you, friend. How you doing? Welcome, welcome in. I've been seeing your music that you've been throwing up on the Discord. Thank you for sharing that as you produce it. It's really cool to hear. Didn't expect to stream this early. Well, Dicey Bugs launched is the thing. So, like, we kind of needed to do this, and I have other engagements later tonight that would prevent me from streaming in the evening. So, we gotta do what we gotta do to highlight the bugs and the dice. Sweet. All right, 7 health. Let's throw that on the Harvestman. Just get a little bit more cushion for him in case he needs to jump up to the front. Ooh. Okay, there's the Scorpion. Half HP or less attacks the opponent on being attacked. All right. Definitely throw a burn up there. Jeez, that's so much damage. I kind of needed him to die so I could revive him. Wanted to gift to a friend, but cursed by regional pricing. Oh, bummer. Bummer, bummer. Something to look into for sure. For drums and Prodigal. Nektos and I and an artist we found made a game like 2 months ago for the Pirate Software Jam. Yeah. Isn't that Didn't Nektos share that in the general chat? You shared it in the general chat. Yeah, you got 4th. You got 4th in the Pirate Software Jam. That's a huge deal. That's tremendously exciting. How has it been since then? Like, how was that whole experience? Dead. All right. More health. Oh, yeah, the beetle's just fallen off, man. We haven't been throwing any resources his way, so it makes sense, but definitely want to be boosting up the Harvestman. What do you mean, What do you mean, That's sort of like the big game jams. Did you learn a lot? Let's move you up. I don't know, we didn't really get anything from it. What, you didn't learn? What, are you talking like prize pool wise? Whatever. We learned, I guess. All of our appreciation, that's right. Could weaken again. I think we really need to, though. Like, we do this. Move him in, and then he gets shot, and then the extra attack just, jeez. I mean, it's a huge bona fide, right? To be able to say you got 4th in the Pirate Software Jam that had so many applicants. Like, that's a great thing to go on resumes, and is a great talking point with any prospective employers or anything. All right, we're at the end boss. I've got a ton of money. Sure. If at half HP or less, increase the strength of adjacent allies by 1. That's cool, but not really for us. Opponent out of dice heals leader by 25% of this unit's max HP. Ooh. Yeah, let's put that on the beetle. That's going to make him quite a lot tankier. Don't really learn from winning, though? You don't? Alright, we're going to shield. Tank the hit. Throw a burn on the assassin bug. Get out of here, assassin bug. You and all of your children can go not be here. Missed the timing on the attack. That's okay, though. Great. Like that. And then we can get our own support attack with repeat. That's why repeat is so good. Gosh. Incredibly versatile. Go ahead and weaken, attack, scare. Yeah, good. Shield, love it. And then he gets nuked. Okay. Weaken. Repeat. Support attack. I should have probably done the support attack twice, but whatever. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we're pretty solidly cruising through this. Get a support attack. Easy game. Hot dog. All right. Well, that was the end boss. My goodness, we didn't get the crazy moth this time. A little bummed out about that. Removes all buffs from the opposing leader. So these are die faces we unlock to be able to start our next run with. So remove all buffs from the opposing leader, apply lure, or get a bottle. I've never done like a bottle heavy run because I'm always farming up these stats. Let's go for that. Maybe, like, I've never taken a capture related equipment either. So, you know, that might be nice to have something a little bit more versatile there and facilitate a build like that. Well, there you go. That is Dicey Bugs. Just what a joy. My goodness. I love this game. I've gotten like 20 hours into it already. I'm definitely going to be throwing a whole lot more into it. I want to try and get shinies of everything. 2 shiny earthworms to brag. I love this. This is one of those games that feels like so much of it was made for me. With just a couple of minor things. You know, with the I'd love a little bit stronger of an anchor to start off with. I'd love a more climactic finish. Like that, I didn't even realize that was the end boss. I thought the moth was just the dedicated end boss because it's so flippin' strong. Turns out, no. I'm not your moth. Where's the endless mode? I could see people really liking an endless mode. I think that's a reasonable fast follow build. Hey, Dermo, good to see you. This is the famous bug game everyone is hyping about lately. Yes, it is. We just barely finished out our run. So like those are the 2 gameplay things. I want a better anchor and I want like a more climactic finish. Other than that though, I really love how this game plays. I love the variety. I love how it rewards smart decision making and how it rewards diversity in builds. So many times, and I said this at the very beginning of the stream, every single time I play these roguelikes and like I just struggle until I figure out, oh, here are like the 4 or 5 good things to do, and you just go, and I don't know. Even like Slay the Spire, I feel doesn't have massive build diversity. I know people would crucify me for that, but clearly there's some cards that are just like you just take those cards, right? And you start building around them. I love how kind of whatever idea I've had, I can make work if I'm clever enough. And I know that's not going to be up some people's alley. They're going to say that's too easy, in which case, hey, guess what? There's an expert mode here for you. I haven't tried it out. I should try it out, but I'm always too scared of losing my bugs. So this is perfect for me. Bashing on the OG Slate. I mean, not bashing on it, but there's something there that works for other people that doesn't work for me. And games like this, like Dicey Bugs, do. And that's fine. It's great that there are different games for different people. So, there you go. That's that. Everyone explodes. How's that for a climactic finish? Oh, shoot. You haven't played Slay the Spire. Oh, wow. That's surprising. Other than that, you know, tiny little UX thing. I think it would be nice to have a little back button here. I know that we can do main menu here, but just a little back button, since we are kind of a layer deep, would just give a sort of sense of wayfinding and this is where I'm at. Super minor thing though. But there you go. that's Dicey Bugs. Definitely give it a check out. This has been so fun. Thanks everyone for hanging out today. I know it's only been an hour and a half. I do got some big projects I got to get working on though. So huge congratulations once again to Prodigal Son and Drums. We are going to be running a giveaway in the Discord. Thank you to Prodigal Son Games for sending a key over for the giveaway. So definitely be sure to check that out in the Discord here soon. And I hope you all have an amazing weekend. Prodigal Son, happy birthday. Drums, congratulations as well. Talk to you later.